Right, easy brass time. I called it easy brass because 90% of this is done without any tools. It's completely by hand. I've done many of these light fittings before. The one main difference is you often find there's a stud or a long piece of iron tube running through these, and the other pieces of brass are just slotted on. This has got some heavy brass in it, and the pieces are held together by very small iron tubes. I've never seen it done quite like that before, but yeah, nice bit of brass out of this and very easy. As I start to undo the main piece from the loop here, you can see some thread. Those are the things I'm talking about. They're a little bit over a centimetre long, iron thread, and the rest of the brass is screwed onto it. After a lovely close-up of my gloves, you can see that I'm taking off a very small brass nut. We've got a few of these on this piece. So what I'm working on now, this dome shaped piece, this is the bit that goes and touches the ceiling or the ceiling rose, whatever the light's fitted to. I'm just taking an iron or steel nut off of the brass inside there, so I can, you can see there's a brass tube right over the middle and a brass loop as well. I'm just taking an iron loop off of the brass tube there. There's also an iron nut that's got to come off that bit as well. There's a few little pieces of household cabling. There's some brassy coloured stuff there that runs through the body of it, and that goes to the actual light bulbs. You've got some blue and brown wire inside the brass. I've got an iron link coming up here. I can't get enough purchase on it to bend it by hand, so I'm using the loop on one side and a long screwdriver on the other, just giving enough purchase to bend it open so I can take the brass bits out of it. Now you see me check this loop a couple of times with a magnet, and it's because it's been up in the ceiling for nearly 30 years and it looks like it's all one piece. It's only when I check it that I realise that the loop is brass and you've got the little iron tube that it looked like it was all one piece, so I was checking and checking again. I'm just taking an iron nut off of this brass pipe. Moving on to the main body, there's a sort of round brass hub in the middle, brass arms coming off, and the bulb holders on the end. The bulb holders are iron, and the sort of bits underneath, that because it's supposed to look like it's a candle sort of thing, 2 of those are brass and 1 are iron. They all look exactly the same. I have no idea why that'd be. It's really unusual. Now, I've tried to twist the arms off, hoping that I could sort of undo them, but there's an iron nut on the inside, so I've got to get to the inside. I can't work out how the hub comes apart, and then I realise in a second there's an unusual nut, because it's a nut, but it's got no flat edges. It's just at the top of the picture there. You can see it there. It's round, a round threaded nut, so I just have to get the rubber tip of the glove on it and undo it. There we go. This hub is actually quite nice thick brass. There's the blue and brown wires I was talking about. Now I'm going to take the arms off, so what I'm mainly going to do is jam a finger on the iron nut on the inside and twist them round. It pulls against the cable. I think eventually I cut through the cables so I can undo them easier. Now, as I take this arm off, you can see the sort of threaded things that are holding this together, as I talked about earlier. As I pull it apart, you can see one completely separate but suspended on the cable. So as it comes under, there it is. Those sort of things are holding all the brass pieces together. So for the remaining 2 arms, I clip the wires first, because it's obviously, when you're undoing it, you're pulling against the wire and trying to stretch it, you undo it, so it makes sense to clip them first. So I've got a slightly tougher iron nut on one of the arms, so we're getting a good look at my blue roll and an old motor iron over the back there, while I find some mole grips and get them clamped on, and then I can hold the nut still with the mole grips and then just undo the arm. Okay, I'm now going to get an adjustable spanner, get it on that nut on that iron thread there. I undo that, which will let me undo the rest of it. That's the biggest piece of iron on this that holds the hub together. And then I've got one other little threaded piece. You can see it right at the bottom there. It's in the bottom of the hub, the kind that's been holding the rest of the thing together. Okay, I'm just going to show you undoing one of the arms. That disc piece at the bottom near my fingertips there, those are the things that 2 of them are brass, 1 of them iron. I don't know why. The main bulb holder inside is iron. There's a couple of brass contacts in there, but so basically now I'm taking the holder out, I'm undoing it. So I've got to undo it whilst pulling against the wire that's inside it, so it needs a bit of clegg. I'm going to take that off, then I use some cutters or some mole grips to pull the wire out, and then I've got a nice thick piece of clean brass. I've got an old cloth on my kitchen scale. I've brought all the brass up from one light. See what it comes to. There's the body, the arms, there's the main hub. It's got all the little bits and pieces in there, and the brass tube, 875 grams in total. Maths time. My yard is paying £2.59 a kilo for clean brass. So we're going to take £2.59 divided by 1,000, so we get the price per gram, and then we're going to times that, what the result of that, by how many grams we got, which is 875, and it means we've got about £2.20 just from the one light, which is, yeah, an easy bit of brass for nothing, virtually no tools. If you'd like more Sammy Love in your life, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.